Monday, October 4th, is the feast of St. Francis of Assisi. And as is our custom here at St. John's, we pick the Sunday that's closest and we celebrate the life of this church father. So on October 3rd, we will be celebrating the life of St. Francis of Assisi, both in the morning and in evensong in the afternoon. It's somewhat unfortunate. The staff has been talking about this phenomenon amongst ourselves for the past couple of weeks. It's somewhat unfortunate that St. Francis has culturally sort of become just this quaint little figure of history associated with pet blessings, when really St. Francis has so much more to offer. He was not only the founder of an order of monks, the Franciscans, but he was a very probing thinker about all sorts of spirituality, and really thinking about how all-encompassing our spirituality is, and that we can see God through nature, through animals, through plants, but also through the stars and experiences and good food and conversation. These were all things that were sacred to St. Francis. He saw a sacredness in all of life. And so we're really going to be striving to lift that up in our services this Sunday, and really thinking about how Francis inspires us to a deeper and richer life through contact with the sacred, through our own spiritual contact with God in Jesus Christ. St. Francis did not leave behind a lot of writings, and certainly not a lot of writings that are really engaging to read. His writings tended to be a little bit more pragmatic. But he did write these two very big poems, these majestic poems, one of which is very familiar, All Creatures of Our God and King. And this is a text that has been, in English translation, been long associated with the tune Lost unser Freuen. So we'll come into the service singing all 7 verses of this glorious hymn and really pay attention. We invite you to pay attention to each verse and the kind of culminative effect that it has, that all creatures of our God and King, and that it goes through talking about swift flowing water or winds and water and the Mother Earth. All these things, everything that we can experience is a window through which we can see God. As we go through the service, again, images from nature will be paramount in the service, but also look for those hints of all of creation and all of experience. At the communion, the choir will be singing a setting of Psalm 95, Sing unto the Lord a new song. And there's really very little else in the scripture that speaks right to the heart of what St. Francis was getting to than this psalm. And the psalm, again, talks about how the whole earth can glorify God. This setting, Sing unto the Lord a New Song, was a new experiment in the tonal language of the composer Arvo Pärt. Arvo Pärt grew up in Russia. He was Estonian and grew up in Russia in the 60s. And the music at the time was very restricted in what they were allowed to do. The Soviet Union was very controlling on how they wanted their composers to be trained. And Arvo Pärt in the 70s fell into a silence, and then as he broke out of that, he came up with this new language that he calls tintinnabuli, after tintinnabulation, or the ringing of bells. And so overtones are really paramount in this language. So the music goes very quickly through all the verses of Psalm 95 as the choir just sort of bounces along with these bell-like sounds. Very quick and very lively. So we hope that you will join us as we sing a new song. Please note this is Marathon Sunday. Allow extra time if you're wishing to come downtown to worship with us here at the cathedral, or you may also join us online on our YouTube channel or on cable television.